Michigan Out of Doors On Demand is brought to you by Country Smokehouse of Almont, offering the best quality and satisfaction in homemade meats, sausage, and jerky. It's a Michigan destination. Check out the website at countrysmokehousinc.com. And by Williams Gun Sight. Located in Davison, Williams has everything from used guns and gunsmithing services to shooting ranges and educational classes. Williams, on the range since 1926.
Whitefish were going to be our problem. And we figured since we had a big leg up on this, we had probably 12 species in about 4 or 5 hours. We thought we had a little bit of time to spend on the whitefish, so we headed out in my boat. Ryan Matuzek started running the camera, and all we could catch was lake trout. I mean, lake trout after lake trout after lake trout.
There we go.
And you talk about fun fishing. I'm a fisherman just like anybody else. I couldn't hardly pull myself away from these things, but we had to try different spots. We got into some spots where we couldn't even get down to the bottom without catching a lake trout.
Does that look good? What did I do to you? What did I do to you to make you want to do that? Jeez. Okay, he's back at his home. Holy. I need a line counter on this. Jeez. Oh my word.
The fisherman in me wanted to stay in those spots, but I knew that with a 30-30 going on, we had to move on to the whitefish, and try as we might, we could not catch a whitefish, and we just had to call it. We just had to leave the lake trout and say forget it on the whitefish, and we thought maybe we'd get back to it on the next day, which we didn't even get to it.
Another beautiful Traverse Bay lake trout, and we just can't seem to catch. We just can't seem to catch a whitefish. Getting tired.
Well, I had a book that tells what's in the lakes, and some of them have, you know, creel surveys, net surveys that the DNR does, and it was a few years old, but the lake we were going to catch the crappie had, the latest net survey had found 2 crappies 0 to 5 inches in it. So I had a feeling this was going to be a pretty tough fish to catch, and we went there, it looked great, had some local advice that they were hanging out, you know, suspending in 18 to 20 feet of water. Looked and looked and looked, couldn't find any fish, didn't really have any idea how to catch a crappie like that. Just happened to see a tree hanging off the bank with some branches. I knew that crappies like to suspend in that, so I flipped it up in there, and I couldn't believe what happened. Unbelievable! What are the odds that I can catch a crappie in northern Michigan on a lake I've never been on? This, my friends, I believe, what would you say, Mike, white crappie or black crappie?
I would say that's a black crappie.
I'd say it's a black crappie too. I don't even know what to say. I thought this was hopeless.
Yeah.
See that tree coming down?
Yeah.
The only thing I know about crappies is that they like to suspend in treetops.
Mm-hmm.
Bam.
That's amazing.
The only thing I know about crappies.
We had heard that the walleye fishing, and I've sampled some of the walleye fishing up in that area, the walleye fishing can be great up in the Traverse City area. This time of the year, it's getting tough because of all the bug hatches. Well, we had an inside track, Ryan's friend, he said he could catch the walleye, and he had like 2 or 3 in the box already when we got there. Wouldn't you know it, when the camera shows up, the fish won't hit. I mean, they just would not hit. So we fish and fish and fish and fish. It's windy, it's rainy. The conditions are just horrible for fishing wise and taping with the video camera. And finally, right at dark, it's almost last light, I hook into a tiny little walleye. It's about 12, 13 inches long, but it's a walleye nonetheless.
Right there is a walleye, Long Lake walleye. We've had some good help out here, but it's been tough. The bite has been off. There's the results. Man,
I'll tell you what, I am so happy. This has probably been one of the toughest one, other than those whitefish earlier today. And we still haven't got one of those, but walleyes have been tough to get. These guys had 2 in their box over here, and we just couldn't hook one. So, all right, he's obviously not legal, so we're gonna go ahead and put him back. There he goes.
Oh,
Yes.
you did it. There
All
you
right.
go, man.
Nice. Let's go after something else.
Well, that pretty much capped the daylight hours of the first day, and I think I had 8, maybe 9 different species, everything that I wanted to target except the walleye. But Gabe, fortunately, I had found out was after the walleyes. So it was time to go bow fishing, and that's when the weather really turned bad with the rain. The wind was not good.
Well, as you can see, it's about midnight, dark 30. We're just taking off from the Bayshore Resort here again. We're wiring up the cart boat. We've got lights all over this thing. These are actually parking lot lights, so we're going to be able to look down in the water and maybe shoot some fish. This is our plan for the nighttime fishery. Problem is, it's raining out there and it's windy, and you can't see down in the water very well when it's raining and windy, so we're going to do our best. We're going to see what happens, and stay tuned. It should be fun. Everything was against us last night. We planned on doing this 30-30, and we thought that the bow fishing boat would be a big part of it, and it was, but the weather just did not cooperate one bit, did it?
No, it pretty much rained, you know, from, what time did we start? 10:30
Yep.
until about 5.
Yep, the sun was coming up when it stopped.
Yeah, and it definitely made a difference in being able to see the fish, and it also muddied up some of the current, you know, in the river mouth area where we were, so you couldn't quite see. There was fish there, and then we didn't exactly do ourselves justice shooting either.
Yeah, the shooting left something to be desired, but when it's 40 degrees, raining,
Yeah.
foggy,
Yeah.
it's not the easiest shooting anyways. So
Right.
yeah, it was windy and rainy, and that does not make for good bow fishing, especially at night. So we did what we could. We came away with a bullhead, a dogfish, and a sucker.
So the total's 21. We've got, what do we got left?
It's about what?
7 a.m., 6 a.m. right now, so
Yeah, we got till 1 o'clock.
7 hours to get 9 more species, and we'll give it a shot.
Yep.
We definitely have a chance.
Yep.
Went into the second day and was just trying to pick up whatever I could, and it was chaos. You know, Gabe would catch a rainbow the same time I had just caught a rainbow. You know, he caught a creek chub, I caught a creek chub, and you know, we had a list, but at that time we were in full-blown panic mode, just going wherever we could to pick up those last few species.
That's definitely a brown trout right there.
Get it? You got him.
There we go. Looking at my clock, and it is 12:59. We've got 1 more minute, and I think I'm gonna relax, finally. We started out 30 hours ago, 7 o'clock in the morning out of Frankfurt with a real screaming, and we ended up at 1 o'clock on a Wednesday seining minnows in this culvert. How do you find a better job than this? This is unbelievable. We're assuming we've caught 30 different species. Some of them are minnow species, but we have put the hurting on some of the game fish species as well. So it's 1 o'clock right now. We are officially finished with the 30-30 for this year.
invasive species just scare the crap out of me. And it should everybody, because it's not just so much for me, it's for the future. You know, for the kids in the future.
We should all be concerned anytime invasive species come in, because it can have an extremely huge negative effect.
Fighting invasive species is a big one right now with the Asian carp, the zebra mussels, the gobies, and all the different things that are infesting our waters.